All right, UFC fight fans, good to have you with us for our fight announcement for UFC Fight Night coming up June 13th in Vegas with the approval of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And I am now joined by the hardest working man in show business, UFC President Dana White. You don't strike me as a guy who needs like 8 hours of sleep a night. Because if you do, I don't know how you get them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but before we started this, I was sitting here yawning. So maybe I need to get 8 hours tonight. I don't know.
All right, well, let's reveal the card, and then we'll get some thoughts from you on the main event and the co-main event. First, we will show you the prelims. These will be yours next Saturday, June 13th, live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. You see bottom of your screen, Jordan Griffin versus Derek Minner. Great one at flyweight, Ryan Benoit versus Tyson Nam. Julia Avila versus Gina Mazzani. Charles Rosa out of American Top Team making a quick return here against Kevin Aguilar. And your featured prelim bout, Maria Agapova versus Melissa Gatto. Those are the prelims. Now we get to the main card, a 9 p.m. start. A couple highlights. Good one at featherweight. Andre Touchy-Feely taking on Charles Air Jordan. At bantamweight, Jordan Espinosa. He's ranked at flyweight, but he moves up to take on Mark De La Rosa. Absolutely killer co-main event, which we will get to, between Carl Robertson and Marvin Vettori. And eventually all roads lead to the flyweight main event between Jessica Ai and Cynthia Calvillo. So, Dana, we'll start right there. Cynthia moving up to 125 pounds. She's had a lot of success as a strawweight. What are your thoughts on her moving up to 125?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, she's making this move. I know she's had, you know, a lot of trouble making that other weight, and this might be better for her. You know, why not test it out? And especially getting a shot like this against the number one contender in the division, it's the right move for her.
And we're going to talk to Cynthia here in about 5 minutes. You mentioned the number one contender, Jessica Ai. She looked outstanding, I thought, against Viviane Araujo back in December. What do you think a win over Calvillo does for her stock if she can get this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Calvillo's very respected in the in the top 10, at strawweight, and Jessica needs to start putting together some wins against credible people again to get herself back into title contention. Stylistically, this should be a very fun fight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays out over potentially 25 minutes. So got to talk to you quickly on the co-main event before we spin this thing forward, because this fight really jumps off the card for a lot of people. There's heat on this matchup at middleweight. Carl Robertson and Marvin Vettori, as you well know, were supposed to fight in Jacksonville. Carl was hospitalized. Marvin not happy. There was a little altercation. Not too bad when there's heat on a fight, and this one certainly qualifies.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, there's a lot of fights that, the guys talk smack and then there's heat. They saw each other and then the fight sucks. That will not be the case with this fight. Vettori is so fun to watch fight. This guy goes for it. He goes for the finish in every fight. And Carl Robinson is the same way. Both of these guys fight exactly the same way. And this should be, if I was doing, if you don't know, now you know. Yeah. But this is the co-main event, so you should know. But this is a fight that has the potential for a fight of the night or performance of the night award.
Yeah, no doubt. Marvin went 15 hard minutes with Israel Adesanya, as many of our viewers know, and he wants that rematch in the worst way, but he gets Carl Robertson June 13th. Before we get to UFC 250 and this huge main event, obviously, with Amanda Nunez and Felicia Spencer, just want to get a thought or two on Gilbert Durinho Burns. I just saw him here at the Host Hotel. Obviously, his brother's competing this weekend, but a huge win for him against Tyron Woodley. And just curious how you think he stacks up now with the top of this welterweight division.
Yeah, I was excited about that fight going into it because I knew that he would be aggressive. I knew that he would push Woodley. And, the question wasn't what would Gilbert Burns do? The question was, which Tyron Woodley would show up, the one that is explosive and lets his hands go and murders you, or the one we saw last weekend. Burns looked incredible. I think the guy is unbelievably well-rounded. No matter where the fight goes, if you want to stand up, he can stand up. He's got knockout power. If you want to wrestle, he can wrestle. If you want to go to the ground, his ground game is unbelievable. The guy is dangerous anywhere the fight goes. So, when you look at the top 5 guys in the world, from Edwards to Masvidal, Colby Covington, Usman, any of those fights are fun fights with Burns.
Yeah, 170 pounds has never been more top heavy and deeper than it is right now. All right, before we let you go, so UFC 250, Amanda Nunez, Felicia Spencer. We sat down with both athletes today. I'm so excited to see what Spencer can do with this opportunity. I mean, she beats Amanda. She effectively changes her life forever, you know?
100% she does. And the crazy thing about this is, I think that Nunez is the GOAT. And you look at all the people she's beaten, not just who she beat, but how she beat them. And a lot of people, when people want to, be derogatory about the women's division, they're always like, well, women don't have that one punch knockout power, and women don't knock people out. She does. She knocks you out with one punch. And, she's knocked out the best of the best. She submitted the best of the best. If it goes to the ground, she can do that too. But in this business, anybody can win on any given night. And when you are the world champion and you are the best, everybody is studying to beat you. Right. So you cannot go in there with that mindset. You have to stay on top of your game. You have to stay busy, and you have to come in and perform every single time.
Incredibly, Nunez trying to win an 8th straight UFC championship fight, 11th straight overall. You can see it live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view Saturday night. My man, I appreciate a few minutes. We'll see you on Saturday, if not sooner, okay?
Thanks for having me.
All right, there he is, UFC President Dana White. Very excited for UFC 250 and, of course, for June 13th and the main event between Jessica Ai and Cynthia Calvillo. And to that end, let's get you the tail of the tape for this flyweight headliner coming up in about 9 days. So Jessica Ai, entrenched as the number 1 contender. She is 15-7, taking on the former strawweight, now flyweight Cynthia Calvillo, who is 8-1 overall. Calvillo's only career loss, of course, coming against the former strawweight champion Carla Esparza. Both women in their early 30s. Ai is taller by 2 inches. She will also have a 2-inch advantage in reach. So that is the main event coming up. Calvillo and Ai on Saturday, June 13th, as Cynthia tries on a new division. And I think a lot of people were expectant that eventually Cynthia was going to move up to 125 pounds and really try to make a championship run there. And you can't do much better than getting a shot immediately at the number 1 contender. And you heard Dana White mention Jessica Ai and how she has to put some wins together. Couldn't have gone a whole lot better for her, obviously, against Viviane Araújo. That was at UFC 245 last December. So a lot of options for this flyweight division, and certainly for these 2 contenders who will try to put that proverbial best foot forward coming up here in about a week and a half. We are going to be joined by Cynthia in a minute. I'm not sure if we have her yet. But while we are awaiting Cynthia Calvillo, I just want to give you a few thoughts on this main event between Amanda Nunez and Felicia Spencer coming up here in 2 days, because I just sat down with both athletes today, and it's incredible to see Amanda Nunez, the now mother-to-be, and how much energy and excitement and happiness that is bringing her. Of course, she was there with her wife, Nina Nunez. They actually were married late last year, so they are married now, and Nina's about 6 months pregnant. And I think Amanda's really excited, motivated to try to get this win, to successfully defend this featherweight title, and then to go home and start sort of nesting and getting ready to be a mom. So that was sort of a big takeaway for me with Amanda Nunez. I mean, she looks great. She's in a great place not having to cut the weight. And I'm not sure, with 5 successful bantamweight title defenses, if Amanda Nunez is going to go back down to 135 pounds. It is a struggle. It was a hard cut against Jermaine Durand to me. We'll see how it goes against Spencer, and maybe if there are big fights that come Amanda's way at 35, maybe she would go back down, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her stay up at featherweight if, in fact, she can get by Felicia Spencer. On the other side, we have Felicia Spencer, and she could not be in a better place than she was today. I just think there's a mental toughness to this athlete that allows her to be totally unfazed when she's walking out to fight somebody like Chris Cyborg. And certainly that fight didn't go her way, but there was a lot of good that could have been extracted from that performance. Came up large in a big win in a co-main event to set up this title fight. And I don't think she's going to be daunted by sharing the octagon with Amanda Nunez. All right, I believe we do have the great Cynthia Calvillo now joining us live from the West Coast. Cynthia, can you hear me?
I can. Let me start the video.
There she is. I mean, we want to see you.
We got it. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Well, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
Hold on just a second. For some reason, it's like just not loud. There you go. All right.
All right, I'm gonna start talking loud for you so you can hear my every damn word. So, well, first of all, it's nice to see you. Congratulations on getting the main event. I'd imagine you were pretty excited when the call came in that not only it would be a main event, but you're fighting the division's #1 contender, Jessica Eye.
Yeah, I mean it's freaking crazy. I mean, I definitely was not expecting main event, but I know it's like crazy times right now. And at this point, 2020, I don't think anything's gonna surprise me right now.
Right.
So,
Right.
man, I'm just so stoked. Especially during this time, it's just been so negative. Like we didn't really a good start with 2020, and now I'm definitely starting to see the light. And I'm super super excited to compete next weekend.
I know there's been a lot of pressure on you, really dating to your UFC debut. But now you're trying on a new division for size. What led to the decision to move up? And are you doing so with finality and just leaving the strawweight division for good?
Yeah, so it was really tough making that cut to strawweight. Originally, when I had started, my professional debut, professional career, there was no flyweight division in the UFC, and of course, the ultimate goal is always to fight for the UFC, and so I realized that I could make it, but it was going to be tough every single time. So ultimately, I just decided after, especially missing weight twice, some things that were out of my control, it made it too much difficult. So it's just the best thing for me to move up to flyweight. I hope a lot of people follow through with that. It's, cutting weight is pretty harsh on us. So I think it's the best thing. I'm excited, man. Like I'm not going to be hangry during this fight camp.
Right.
It's great.
And you're always super sweet with us, even when you're cutting weight. But I do look forward to talking to you when you're belly full and ready to go at 125 pounds. So in terms of the training and the preparation, a lot of athletes we've talked to have enjoyed preparing in this climate, right? Because their inner circle is tighter and maybe they're getting more personal attention. I know you've aligned with AKA the American Kickboxing Academy there in San Jose, but how has the preparation gone for you given some of the limitations that are out there?
Man, I would say that if it wasn't because I was in the middle of moving, then yeah, I could see how that would benefit a lot of fighters who are already established with their team. So it's like, oh, they get this 1-on-1 because these guys don't have to worry about anything else,
Right.
For me, it was a little bit more difficult. And then here in Santa Clara County, definitely one of the hot spots during the pandemic. I think Santa Clara County got most of the deaths here. And so we got some, everybody was scared. So, and me being the new person, I didn't want to put them, at risk, and like with their families and stuff like that. Nobody knew what was going on, especially me too. I have my father here at home. And, but once, the restrictions started, being lifted little by little, and we seen that, that the fight started happening. As soon as May 9th happened, we were like, okay, so then these fights really could happen, because originally the last couple cards were canceled. And once we did that, I was just like, man, we got back into the gym and training. I did get that one. So right now I do feel like I am getting that part where I am getting most of the attention on me. I do have a lot of the coaches that are just basically, we're just coming into the gym just for me. So it's been great. The beginning was a little bit tough, but now I enjoy it for sure.
So what are your expectations for this matchup with Jessica, and any thoughts on 5 rounds versus 3?
Man, my expectations for this is just going to be a full me, no holding back. There's not going to be any, bad weight cut. I feel like I was a little bit smaller and depleted, like in my opinion. I think this is the perfect size for me, and I like to push hard. One of my biggest, my biggest talent is my work ethic. I work hard, and not cutting that weight allows me to do that and to be able to push and not be scared to take it into deep waters. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing is, is Jessica Eye going to be able to keep up with me, especially her taking the fight on short notice. I think I'm going to shine a lot. I think I'm finally going to be able to perform to the best of my ability. And I'm excited. I think I'm here to make this flyweight division a little bit more exciting. That's for sure.
Well, it's definitely an injection of talent and personality, and you're such a great person. I've obviously gotten a chance to get to know you a little bit. I'm happy you're getting this opportunity. I know there have been injuries and trials and tribulations and everything else. So I hope you maximize the showcase in about 10 days, and look forward to seeing you from 6 feet away here in Vegas next week.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. Thank you so much.
All right, there she is, half of the main event For June 13th, Cynthia Calvillo faces Jessica I, 5 rounds if needed. You can see it all play out live on ESPN+. And to that end, let us show you the upcoming schedule for the MMA leader. We are wall-to-wall live every single weekend here in the month of June. Of course, coming up this Saturday, June 6th, it is UFC 250 Nunez versus Spencer live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. The prelims prior on ESPN. Then June 13th, the aforementioned UFC Fight Night, I versus Calvillo. And then on June 20th, we have a heavyweight main event. It was scheduled before. It shall be done on the 20th. UFC Fight Night, Blades versus Volkov. With that, on behalf of our entire ESPN Mixed Martial Arts team, I'm Jon Anik. Thank you all for watching. 2 more sleeps. We'll see you Saturday night.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.